Hey, it's Catherine here with a reading for Monday, July 6th, which is our annual aphelion. Aphelion occurs when the sun is the farthest away from us in our orbit of the sun that it can possibly be. It happens once a year, somewhere between July 2nd and the 7th. By the same token, Grandmother Moon gets close and far away, perihelion, perigee and apogee, once every month, so 13 times a year. So we have this momentous opportunity with aphelion to hear from the grandfather in terms of the archetype and the spirit being our indigenous culture knows it to be. And so when we are entering the next day on the 7th, we will be in the fourth quarter of the Grandmother Loves All Things. This is a critical fourth quarter because everything we need to get rid of that's part of our self-destructive behaviors, whether we're conscious of them or not, our shadow stuff really needs to be gone in the fourth quarter. It's when we weed our gardens. We don't plant anything in the fourth quarter. We get rid of. So consequently, this is really a call to our soul. And so the next grandmother that comes later in the month, on the 14th, in fact, is she who heals. So we won't heal. We won't heal things we've carried for a lifetime, perhaps, if we don't do this shedding of that which no longer serves. Our earthly walk is a landscape. So I'm using a landscape tarot again and an oracle called the Bloodlands because our lives are so important. We are on the land. We are of the land. Our ancestors shed their blood on the land. Every living being returns to the land in some way or shape. And so we are being called to use this time to work with aphelion. The first card is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the one who has the authority and control over spiritual things. So if we take on the archetype of the Hierophant, we are taking on responsibility for our soul's evolution and purpose, whether we are tuning in to our Akasha using regression therapy, or whether we go off and sit in an ashram for 6 months. We need to take and put as much time and energy into our soul's growth, starting now. Make it a priority. The Page of Stones is the card that follows. In this deck, that's the Page of Pentacles. This is learning everything about this life's walk and how it relates to our growth spiritually and purposely. And it's done so from a place of curiosity, not fear about what we might connect with. And finally, the Wheel of Fortune. Based on our choices and moving forward, if we can, with bravery and enjoyment and love and curiosity, we can create a tremendously positive time. The page, by the way, relates to the sign of Taurus. So obviously that's our next moon cycle. So we will be seeing appropriate response or results from our journeys as soon as the next astrological sign. The two cards that came out are the Crown Fire. This is the destruction of the forest. The Crown Fire is the hottest and worst because once it hits, it destroys a tree's capacity to continue growing, so it's going to die. This is a sense of getting rid of everything which no longer serves us. Unfortunately, certain things go when a forest is on fire. The animals lose their lives, lose their habitat. The soil gets changed chemically, but eventually it comes back. And the regrowth is always growing on the ashes. What's been lost from the previous becomes the fertilizer. So what we let go of in terms of getting rid of that which no longer serves us, in terms of our shadow selves, we use as fertilizer for new beginnings. So we're not losing us by changing how we are. We are letting go of chains and anchors. And finally, the glacier. We need to know that we are constantly fed the water of life. It's interesting that water and fire cards come up. They're opposite, but they need each other. Even in times of drought, the glacier is feeding gently amounts of water to keep us alive. This is the source. This is spirit. This is everything that we need to move forward and to heal, because water is life. Anyway, I leave that with you, and enjoy, do ceremony, do what you can for Aphelion. Anyway, miigwech, take care.